I guess you can have the same idea, different people at different times, at the same time, maybe you have the same idea. Alec Baldwin is going to do a roast on Comedy Central, a celebrity roast. I've been working on my idea for about, maybe 2 years. And his will probably on Comedy Central will maybe be X-rated because they're going to do a lot of the generic swearing, general swearing. But you know, the FCC has seven of those words that you can't use on over-the-air television, but you can use them on Comedy Central. It's cable, it's private, and it's subscription. You can use it on subscription on HBO or any one of those places. But you cannot use it on over-the-air or PBS, you know, where they still say thee and thou. But I'm a progressive guy. I act like I won the lottery. So that's what you got to live that way. And I do live that way. I'm a little bit dangerous. You know, I had issues when I was a kid of sexual abuse, and I worked through a therapist. So I said on the Facebook, I said, you know, I did not work through my issues with a lawyer. I worked through a lot of therapy, a lot of community and 12-step programs and various organizations. You know, Humpty Dumpty was not put together by a lawyer, and it was never put together. As a matter of fact, he fell apart. All the king's horses and all the lawyers couldn't put him together again. But I was fortunate enough to find a couple of good people to work with me, and also to take me to some of the meetings that are vital. And I worked my way through my sexual abuse issues. But this is a society right now that's so greedy. I mean, everything's about money, and lawyers, we graduated too many of them. I mean, that was told me by President Obama's lawyer years ago, you know, that we graduated too many lawyers. He said, not one of them. And we can't do anything about it right now. You know, we have too much in it. And it's a money world, you know that, and we also have a problem getting Chinese food right now. Well, if they stop fighting in Hong Kong, maybe the delivery service would be a little faster. But, you know, I bet they're having a hard time with this, with ordering food. I was in China with Myra Chen, who was producer of my show. And I said, let's go out and eat. What do you feel like having? She said, I feel like having Chinese food. I said, Myra, we are in China. All the food is Chinese. This is a rebellious move on the part of the Chinese because Hong Kong speaks Cantonese, and the rest of China speaks Mandarin, and the rest of China is still operating off of the English money. When their agreement was up after 99 years, a few years ago, the English were forced to get out of there, and the Chinese were supposed to take over. So, you know, there's a war going on because there's a lot of patriotism. People who want to stay and keep the game going the way it was. It was rather cool. You know, and if you go into the harbor of Hong Kong, you'll see that most of the buildings are Korean, which is understandable because Korea was once China. Hey, watch this. Let's have a history lesson while we're going through all of this crap. Anyway, I wanted to announce that I'm still going to work my roast. I'm going to use colored people. Some are green, some are blue, some are yellow. And as long as black people have a break, that's not a color. And if we use some of the women, because women are having their place in the entertainment industry right now, I'm being very delicate. Now we got to work on the old people. You know, people who have been ceremoniously experienced. How about that? Never mind that golden thing or the senior. I mean, those are all things that are excuse words to get rid of everybody. What we really need to say is that we are, let's see, I am show business American. Like African Americans, you know, they became African Americans. Now I'm going to become Hollywood American. No, maybe not that. But we want to work, you know, and we're good at it. We're real good at it. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the world that doesn't miss some of the great personalities we grew up with. And the replacements have been highly mediocre, I would say, or lower mediocre. But we have people now who have replaced in every field. They're down a step, you know, from the presidency all the way down to everything in the industry. I don't know why, but it's just that we have celebrated mediocrity. I think because a lot of people got in these positions of having power where they were able to place other people, and they didn't place people in there who they would be threatened by or who would replace them. They're fear-based. And incidentally, Will Smith was on television this morning trying to explain what fear was because he was in a movie with a shark. and he certainly has experience in explaining fear. But the acronym is fear is false evidence assumed real. And 90% of it is just shadow boxing. It's just in your head. So you're right. Good for you, Will. Hey, you could be on my roast. We'll have you there and not ask you to swear. It's a Reynolds rap.